Corriendo.
Espérame. ¿Listo? ¿Canta, Quique?
¿Es una entrevista hecho uno a uno?
¿Marca?
Well, Guy, it's a pleasure to speak with you again. The last time I had the chance to speak with you was in 2008 on Washington,
Wow.
on the beginning of the Viva la Vida tour.
Mm-hmm.
Since then, we were talking about Brian Eno and the things you do with him in the castle and all
Yes.
of that. Since then, your music has been changing and been empowering generations, millions of people. How do you overcome challenges and fears to do music and to evolve in this path?
Well, that's a good question. I think we feel like we don't feel any pressure to stay the same. I think that's the key. We enjoy new challenges musically. We enjoy working with new people. We enjoy trying new musical styles and different types of songs and using new equipment. And so I feel like it's, and also it's something that keeps us interested. You know, I think there are lots of, from parachutes to this music of the spheres is a hugely different sort of style of music, and I think that's something that's always appealed to us. Some of our favourite bands, when you look at the Beatles, for example, who were able to write so many different styles of songs and were brilliant at many different genres, and I think that's something that's always appealed to us. So we just don't want to repeat ourselves and stand still for too long. So I think for us it's just about trying to move forward with every record or move into a different direction, let's say.
Mm-hmm. Talking about producers, how do you choose the producers? From Brian Eno to Avicii's to the ones you have been collaborating to, it's like a group, Brian Strong. How do you made it?
Well, I think we choose people on the basis that we know their work and we know their history. You know, so we were all big fans of Brian and his work and hugely admired, you know, all of the records he made. And of course we've grown up making music alongside Max Martin, who's been making, you know, different kinds of music throughout a similar period of time as us, and so we were always aware of his existence. And like Will says, I think from record to record we always like to force some kind of change in the sound or the direction we go, so that, you know, the choice of a producer can greatly influence that. And on the last album, Everyday Life, Max came into the studio to work with us on one song called Orphans. That was in Paris, and we had such a great afternoon working with him. Like we really gelled immediately and had a lot of shared interests. And so we decided to ask him to come to produce the whole album of Music of the Spheres.
Talking about collaborations in the studio and in your tours, how do you choose the artists like Selena Gomez, BTS, or Fer de Maná in this case?
Well, it's a great question. I think we are very keen, when you've been a band for a long time, especially I think Chris feels that he likes to hear other voices on our music, and sometimes there are songs that get written as duets, and sometimes he writes things with an idea that a part of it, or at least some of the song, will be sung by a different sounding voice, whether it's a female voice or a child's voice or a strange kind of weird affected voice. So it's basically however the songs arrive, really. If there's a song that requires someone other than us to sing it, then we look for the perfect person for that. And then sometimes we hear about bands or artists that are keen to work with us or have mentioned our music, and so we get in touch with them. Like with BTS, it was an amazing kind of collaboration to make, because it's quite a different world, their world and our world, but we kind of enjoy those kind of things where we do things that are unexpected and things that people say shouldn't or don't work. You know, we enjoy testing that and trying to see what we can get out of these unusual collaborations.
Mm-hmm. In the case of Maná, the third of Maná, how do you chose him to be on your show? God bless you.
Thank you.
Well, I think we, if we're on tour, it's always nice to appreciate, you know, local cultures different countries that we're in, and so we like to kind of find interesting collaborations from place to place that we feel will be appropriate for that particular show.
Mm-hmm.
So Fair was obviously he's from Guadalajara, and we were playing there, and we know of their music, and that particular song, Bailando al Sol, is such a famous song here, and we thought, wouldn't it be great to invite him down, and he's such a nice guy, so we had a fun time with him.
Mm-hmm. Telling me about a different world. You are one of the bands that are touring after the lockdown. How do you feel the reaction of the public, of the audiences all around the globe? It's quite different from before the pandemic?
I don't think so. I think people are very happy to be seeing music again, after such a long period of time of not being able to go to shows or to cinemas or things like that. So I think people are genuinely happy to come and be together, and we're certainly very happy to be in the space with all of our fans, and we're very grateful that it's possible nowadays to do so, because for a long time we were very unsure as to whether we were ever be able to go on tour again.
Mm-hmm.
I think our fans in Mexico have always been fantastic, though, so it would be difficult for them to be any more appreciative or any more loud or any more involved. So yeah, but it feels great for us to be able to be back playing shows again, for sure.
Let's return to Music of the Spheres. You have a record that has different rhythms, different genres. Is quite simple to change the genres between the record of an album like this?
I think that we enjoy that variety. We enjoy being able to change things up, even within the space of an album. I think it's important that a record has an identity, but also that it has variety within it, because too much of the same flavor all the way through can get tiring, I think. So we're very keen to make sure that there are moments where there's quietness and a different tempo or a difference in time signature. So things that so you get a sense that you've traveled a little bit once you've heard the record, rather than just staying in one place.
Mm-hmm. We have to say that Coldplay is a super band. You have a huge size in the music business. How do you choose the bands and the performers that are on your opening shows? You're seeing a growth on them, or how is the experience to do that?
Mm-hmm. Well, I think sometimes we choose artists who we feel are great, and they're upcoming artists. They might be European artists, or people that we've heard on the radio, in the UK, for instance. Or sometimes we can choose bands and acts that are kind of local to the country that we're touring in, that we feel will be appreciated by our fans as well.
Mm-hmm. As I told you, the last time I had the chance to speak with you, as about 12 years. How do you see the music business in the next 10 years?
Gosh, well, I think it's changed so much in the last 10 years, and certainly since we started in 2000, it's very, very different. And I don't think that there are many bands like us who are given the opportunity to grow in the same way that we were. I think obviously the amazing music is now more available than ever to anyone, and that kind of thing is fantastic. But also means that it's very hard for people to cut through and to get noticed, because there's so much available now.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that can be tricky. But as to what will happen in 10 years, I don't know. I think I'm heartened by the increase in the sales of vinyl. Again, I think that's a great direction. I don't know whether that will go exponential as it, in the same way. But I don't know. I think now there was someone was telling us that there was someone in our record company who just signed an artist whose songs are only 60 seconds long.
For TikTok?
Pretty much, yeah. So I think, all incredible kind of things, all different and creative and strange and wonderful in their own way. But as to where it goes next, I have no idea.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see whether we're still around to experience it.
You were telling me about radio and vinyls. Do you still listen to radio, and you still buying vinyls?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think I listen to most of my music on radio, I would say, on terrestrial radio, and yeah, I've been buying vinyl again. I still have a big collection, but starting to buy more again now.
Well, that's great for someone that it's working in radio, so thank you very much. Well, at the beginning of your documental, you are saying that you want to be this kind of band. How do you see the emerging bands to be in the next 10 years this kind of band, of mega band? What advice you can give to them to in this turmoil and these crazy times, uncertainty times, how to grow in the music business?
I don't think there's a formula for success on any level, to be honest. And I think I think it's very dangerous to try and to try and specifically reach any kind of level of success. I think all you can really do is work hard, be passionate about music or whatever else it is that you're working on. If it's not music, if you're a painter or a filmmaker or whatever, you just need to focus on your work. And of course there's always an element of luck involved as to who finds you and who helps you. But the most important thing is to just completely focus on the creative side of things and not worry about the size of where you're hoping to get to.
Yeah.
Well, guys, I really appreciate this talk. I know your agenda is very tight, so I think, and I wish to see you again, not in 12 years, but sooner.
Yeah, that would be great. Likewise. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Gracias.
Bueno, corto. La chaqueta final.
Paquete final. Solo a ti, ¿verdad, Jacobo?
Marca.
Listo. Corte.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, guys.